Here are two possibilities, because as I have told you that this parathyroid hormone, it will be secreted in case of hypocalcemia. In case of hypocalcemia, there are two possible conditions. Number one is the acute condition, and number two is the chronic condition. Acute condition means the levels of the calcium, they dropped for a very short time period, and chronic condition means that the levels of calcium, they dropped for the longer time periods. Is this clear to you now? Okay, now in case of acute condition, what will happen? First of all, in case of acute condition, as we know that our parathyroid glands, they are working, so they have already the stored form of parathyroid hormones in the form of vesicles. They already have it. Okay, in case of acute condition, first of all, what will happen? This PIP3 molecule, it will become active and it will start releasing the calcium ions from the endoplasmic reticulum. Number one. Number two, this DAG, or because of this signal cascade, these vesicles, they will fuse with the cell membrane and will release the parathyroid hormone into the blood to increase the calcium levels. So what's going on in the acute condition? Number one, in the acute condition, there is the release. Okay, let me use another marker. There is the release of calcium ions from the endoplasmic reticulum. Number two, the release of PTH from vesicles. Okay, this is what happened in acute conditions. Let me again explain you that in hypocalcemia, which means the low levels of calcium in the blood, and there are two possible conditions for the hypocalcemia. Number one is acute condition, number one is a chronic condition. If there is an acute condition, it means in acute condition, first this PIP3 will lead toward the release of calcium ions from the endoplasmic reticulum, and in case of and the second one is there will be the release of parathyroid hormone from this vesicle into the blood, and that parathyroid hormone, now it will go to the target cell for the search of calcium ions, and the calcium ion will be released. So this is the way in this is actually the adaptive mechanism, or we can say that this is a mechanism in the acute conditions. And if we talk about the chronic conditions, in chronic conditions, the low level of calcium that actually retained for the longer time periods. So it means these stored parathyroid hormones, all these hormones, they will be released into the blood, but still body is in the same condition, the deficiency of the calcium levels in the blood. So at this time, what will happen? This HRE region, it will become more active, and it will keep synthesizing the new parathyroid hormone and keep releasing it into the blood like this. When this vesicle, it will fuse with the cell membrane here. Okay. Like this. Okay, and as a result, these parathyroid hormones, they will come out and will go to the blood circulation system, will go to the blood circulation, and will start searching the target cells for the release of calcium ions. So this is in case of chronic conditions. So we can say that in chronic conditions, what is going on in the chronic conditions, the new parathyroid hormone is synthesized and released. So remember the difference between these both conditions. In hypocalcemic phase, there is acute condition. In the acute condition, that is the low level of calcium for the shorter time period. So it means this shorter calcium levels are the reduced calcium levels for the shorter time periods. These will be compensated either by the release of calcium from the endoplasmic reticulum to the PIP3 or with the help of release of parathyroid hormone stored in the vesicles that are already present. Okay, but in case of chronic condition, the body synthesizes a new parathyroid hormone along with these stored vesicles. So we can say that in chronic condition, the PTH, it is secreted more as compared to the acute conditions. Is this clear to you now? And remember one thing that is very important. In both conditions, what will be the signal to trigger this chief cell to produce a parathyroid hormone? The signal to trigger this chief cell to produce a parathyroid hormone is a low calcium level. Okay, right.